Hello everyone, welcome back to Clinical Research Sport. Today our topic is ICH GCP guideline. In the last video, I told you that in the efficacy section, good clinical practices guideline is there. So in this video, I will tell you that what is GCP and what it contains. In the efficacy section 6, which contain the details of good clinical practices guideline. Currently, we are using the R2 version of GCP guideline. So now let's see that what is good clinical practice? What is the definition? So we can define the GCP as, that means the good clinical practices, as a standard for the design, conduct, performance, monitoring, auditing, recording, analysis, and reporting of clinical trials that provide assurance that the data and reported results are credible and accurate, and that the rights, integrity, and confidentiality of the trial subjects are protected. So basically, this guideline, which was created by the ICH to confirm that whatever the study related data or whatever the study related results which is created after the completion of the clinical trial, they need to be confirmed that these data which is credible, which is accurate, and of course the right, safety, integrity, confidentiality of the trial subjects are protected. So for confirming these things, we need a guideline which all the clinical research professional they can follow that. For that, the GCP guideline was created by ICH. The ICH GCP guideline was developed with the reference to clinical practice in the European Union, Japan, USA, Australia, Canada, and the Nordic countries, and also the WHO. It now provides a unified standard and it facilitates the mutual acceptance of clinical data by the regulatory authorities in different jurisdictions. Compliance with ICA-GCP is now a legal obligation in many countries. Some countries they have modified their own GCP guideline according to the ICH GCP. These guidelines should be followed when generating clinical trial data that are intended to be submitted to the regulatory authorities. The principles established in this guideline that may also apply to other clinical investigation that may have an impact on the safety and well-being of human subjects. Now we can see the history of ICH GCP guideline. The GCP guideline, which have undergone significant changes over the time in response to various developments in the medical research landscape. In 27 April 1995, the GCP guideline got approval by the steering committee and it releases for the public consultation. And in May 1996, the GCP guideline got approval by the steering committee and recommended for the adoption to the three ICH regulatory bodies. The first final version of ICH GCP guideline, it was published on 10 June 1996. The guideline was named as E6R1 ICH GCP. Later, the revision of ICGCP guideline was done. The revised version of ICGCP E6R2, that is the current version, which was published on 9 November 2016. It is known as Integrated Addendum to ICH E6R1. These guidelines, which included requirement for the risk-based monitoring, electronic records, and informed consent, among other topics. As the clinical research which continues to evolve, it is essential that the researchers and healthcare providers they continue to stay up to date on the latest development in the GCP guideline. By doing this, they can ensure that their clinical trials are conducted ethically with the highest standards of research integrity and contribute to the advancement of medical knowledge and patient care. So there is an upcoming version of ICA-GCP also which is on the working stage. That is the upcoming version E6R3. The expert working group, which is working on the revision of E6R2 guideline with a view to addressing the application of GCP principles to the increasingly diverse trial types and data sources being employed to support the regulatory and healthcare related decision making on drugs and provide flexibility whenever appropriate to facilitate the use of technological innovations in clinical trials. The ICH Harmonized Guideline GCP E6R3, the draft version, was endorsed on 19 May 2023 and it is currently under the public consultation. Now let's see that what are the contents in ICGCP. That's the current approved version which is R2 guideline. So here I will going to discuss you what are the contents in ICGCP R2 version. There are different topics contained in the ICH GCP guideline. Total 8 sections are present. So what is the first section which is glossary? The glossary contains definition of clinical research related terms. There will be lot of clinical research related terms. So what are the terms and what is the definition of these terms which we can see in the glossary section. And what is the second one which is principles of ICH GCP guideline. In this section, total 13 principles of ICA-GCP contained, which is related to ethical principles, risk minimization, subject safety and well-being, informed consent, protocol adherence, qualified physician involvement, sponsor oversight, confidentiality, recording and reporting, investigational product quality, etc. Then after these principles of ICA-GCP, now it's contained the third section. So what is the third one? It is IRB or IEC, that is Institutional Review Board or Independent Ethics Committee. It contains the responsibilities of EC, the composition, function, operations, procedures and records which have to be kept by the EC. After EC, it's going for the fourth section, which contain the details about investigator. It contains the details of investigator qualification and agreements and responsibilities of the investigator like adequate resources, medical care of trial subjects, communications with IRB or IEC, compliance with the protocol, investigational products, randomization procedures and unblinding, informed consent of trial subjects, records and reports, progress reports, safety monitoring, premature termination or suspension of a trial, and final reports by investigator. Then after that, it's moving to the fifth section of ICGCP guideline, which is sponsor. It contains the details about sponsor responsibilities like quality management, quality assurance, and quality control. Then contract research organization, medical expertise, trial design, trial management, data handling, and record keeping, investigator selection, allocation of responsibilities, compensations to subjects and investigator, financing, notification or submission to regulatory authorities, confirmation of review by IRB or IEC, information on investigation product, manufacturing, packaging, labeling and coding of investigational products, supplying and handling of investigational products, record access, safety information, adverse drug reaction reporting, monitoring, audit, non compliance, premature termination or suspension of a trial, clinical trial or study reports, and multi center trials. After this fifth section, it's going to the next one, which is about protocol and protocol amendments. That is on the sixth section, protocol and protocol amendments. It contains in a clinical trial what are the information it should be present in a protocol. So it's contained in a protocol that the general information, background information, trial objectives and purpose, trial design, selection and background information, withdrawal of subjects, treatment of subjects, assessment of safety, statistics, direct access to the source data or documents, quality control and quality assurance, ethics, data handling, record keeping, financing and insurance, publication policy, and supplements, like the information which contained here in the sixth section. Then it's moving to the next section, which is investigators brochure, that is IB. So investigators brochure, seventh section, it document which contain the details about investigational product. That means our study drug informations which is contained here in the section. So this section it's contained what are the details should be present in an investigator's brochure. That means IB. It contains the details like introduction, general considerations, summary, introduction, physical, chemical, and pharmaceutical properties and formulation of the product, non clinical studies, effects in humans, and summary of data and guidance for the investigator. These informations, which is contained in the seventh section, investigators brochure. The last it contains essential documents. This is the last section in ICH GCP guideline. There are a lot of essential documents in clinical trial. This section it's contain the details about what are the basic essential documents in clinical trial and what is the purpose of the document and the location of the documents where we have to be keep it. The time point for the collection of the documents, which is before the clinical trial phase starts, during the trial, and after the completion or the termination of the trial, which is also present. Like what are the different documents in clinical trial which we have to be collect in these three different stages, before the starting, during the study, and after the completion. So what are these documents which have to be collected in this time point, in this various time point, which is mentioned also in the essential document section. So these are all the contents which is mentioned here in the GCP guideline, and the full details about it, like the explanation about this, which is given here in the guideline. So in our upcoming sections, I will tell you the explanation about each of this section. So this section about the ICH GCP guideline or our ICH GCP guideline, which provide a direction for the protect of the right, safety and welfare of the human subjects in studies, and it is a widely recognized standard for the conduct of clinical trial, and it is used by the regulators, sponsors and investigators around the world. It improves the quality of data and speed up for marketing the new drugs. So as I told you in the upcoming video, The full details about these principles of ICGCP, easy, investigator, sponsor, protocol, IB, essential documents, everything we will cover. So this is the end of today's session. We will see in the upcoming videos with the new informations related to clinical trial. Thank you.